We are closing in on the NBA trade deadline. The Lakers have already made a move this morning. We're going to break down the trade for Luke Kennard once again. Also, great news if you're a Lakers fan that wants to see Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, in purple and gold. Will the Lakers get a deal done at the buzzer? Do they need to get a deal done at the buzzer? We're breaking it all down next on the LA Sports Report NBA Trade Deadline Special.
LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to the LA Sports Report, your home for all things LA sports. Lakers, Dodgers, Rams, Chargers, USC, UCLA. If they're talking about the world of LA sports, we're talking about it here. My name is Doug McKain. I'm loyal to the soil. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And today is a special episode dedicated to the NBA trade deadline. We are less than an hour away, 51 minutes to be exact, before the pencils go down, and we are going to know if the Lakers made another move. Of course, there's buyout stuff, things like that you can still add to your roster after. But if there's going to be any big swings, it's going to happen within the next hour. I've got my special trade button here. We push it. It does something cool like that. It says the word trade. I love that. And also, we got our guy, Young Lotto, Noise by Noel Sanchez, rocking with us. He's going to break down the trades, covers the Lakers for Bleacher Report. And we're going to be talking Laker basketball with him as well. But let's start with a little recap.
LA is the sports capital of the world.
And what they've done so far is they've made a move that I think is an A-plus trade. And Gabe Vincent, the end of an era, as I said, it is the Lakers' nightmare. Gabe Vincent, the cardio Gabe, is no longer in Los Angeles playing for the Lakers. So to get something for Gabe Vincent, and yes, most of the value from their end came from that second round pick, but still, he did a great job matching salaries. So there, it's that. And the Lakers, they get a true shooter, a true kick-out shooter for Luka Doncic. The Lakers have been desperately missing that. And you get a guy that you could make a case is one of the best pure shooters in the league. Now, is he someone that is going to get valuable minutes every single game? I still think that it depends on the matchup. It depends on that particular game. Is he kind of in that Vando category? Is, okay, this is his night? Is he basically what DK Dalton Connect was supposed to be? Is he a higher level player than Rui on some nights? I mean, these are going to be questions that JJ Redick's going to have to ask, but you got a true shooter at this point, not just one that is someone that's trying to turn themselves into a weapon from beyond the arc. You got someone that can go off floppy actions, doesn't have to set his feet. He can just cash in threes from all over the court. And they basically got a true marksman, a true laser, and he's a sniper. And since the start of the last 5 seasons, you look at where he's been at. There's been 145 shooters that have more than 1,000 three-point attempts in the last 5 years. Luke Kennard is number one on that list when it comes to overall percentage at 46%. And you look at the guys behind him, and it's not even close. Grayson Allen, Sam Hauser, around 41%. So Luke Kennard is someone that you look at the Lakers roster, and yes, it's poorly constructed because of some of the moves that had to be made, some of the moves that were just misses, draft picks not working out like we had hoped. You end up with Luka Doncic, though. And this is a team in modern day NBA, just if they don't have 3-point shooting, you're not going to stand a chance. And the Lakers have 3 players on their roster that have shot above 40% from beyond the arc this year. We got breaking news? All right, let's go. What do we got?
We don't have the full package just yet, but hit that trade button, Doug. The Los Angeles Clippers are trading Ivica Zubac to the Indiana Pacers.
Trade.
There we go. Trade.
The Zubac. That now the Clippers have no one under contract essentially. And he's basically still like 20 years old. And you say he's going where?
He's going to the Indiana Pacers.
To the Indiana Pacers. Wow. That's a shocker. That's a stunner. This is a Clippers team that is completely waving the white flag on their roster. A team that is clearly admitting that the Kawhi Leonard, James Harden nucleus was not going to lead to a championship. We saw them deal James Harden to Cleveland. By the way, he's already requested a trade from the Cavs. We'll see if the Cavs deal James Harden before the deadline. Of course, I'm only kidding here. But Zubac, one of the worst trades the Lakers have made in recent memory, is now on the move. And he goes to a Pacers team that you get a quality big. And that's certainly a move that I think Clippers fans have to feel like, wow, we're really due for a rebuild where it's not 2027, it's not 2028. You're looking at 2029 and beyond that. You have Darius Garland in the mix, and that's one of the more stunning trades. I mean, you look at Zubac, they were saying a couple hours ago that a trade was extremely unlikely and that it was going to require a minimum of 2 unprotected first-round picks and some young talent. And what was the package you said for him?
Package has not been announced just yet.
So we'll see.
We will see.
We'll see what they ultimately move, but that's definitely a wild trade. I think you look at Zubac, he's one of the most underrated players, I think, in the NBA. Plays for the Clippers, doesn't play that position with a lot of flair, but this is a guy that is a walking double-double, 14.4 points per game, 11 boards, a couple dimes, an efficient shooter, efficient in the paint, 61.3% from the paint. And he goes to a Pacers team that, I mean, when you look at where they're at, bottom, the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Pacers last record, well, tied with the Wizards as far as wins go, but 2 more losses, 13-38. But this is something that I want to link to the Lakers in that Rob Pelinka, if in the next hour he has not acquired another player that can be a legitimate starter, a front court 3-and-D, another player that you feel like you can pair alongside Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves to help you win this year and beyond, you're putting all your eggs into the offseason basket. And we saw in 2024, it was, we had 3 first round, we had 3 picks we can trade, we can make some moves. And yes, you're looking at a team $50-60 million in cap space, but that puts a lot of pressure on you. And on top of that, you're going to be in a position where if you want any of these restricted free agents, if you want to go after a Walker Kessler or a Payne Watson, you are going to have to overpay significantly to be able to get those guys. And on top of that, the unrestricted free agents, a Zach LaVine, someone like that, you have no intentions to pair with Luka Doncic. I look at a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, a second apron team that found a way to improve their roster by adding James Harden. I don't know. We'll see what Rob Pelinka has up his sleeve. We'll continue to break down this Dalton Connect trade. Actually went live a couple hours ago, broke down the whole deal and what it means for the Lakers this year and moving forward. But Zubac moving to a team like the Pacers, a team that's in last place, it shows that if you're the Lakers, a team that you're kind of middling, you're 500 against a lot of the teams in the league, you're below 500 against the better teams league, you can still improve at the deadline, even if it means that you're not making moves to win an NBA championship this season. Absolutely,
Doug. And I mean, looking at the Clippers, going back to the Zubac trade, what I'm thinking about is they've now traded James Harden, they've traded Ivica Zubac, and the Oklahoma City Thunder still own their first-round pick for this season. I mean, where do you think the Clippers are going to end up? They've been on this crazy run, turning their season around, getting closer to the playoff picture. Do you think essentially that they're calling it quits on this season, and you think OKC is going to get that pick?
I mean, that's definitely a byproduct of this. I think that they're thinking very big picture and very long term. And they understand that the ultimate goal is to win an NBA championship. And say what you want about the Clippers. Yes, they've never been to an NBA Finals. But when you look at their resources with Steve Ballmer, with the way that organization has been run, with a new arena, I think that this is a proactive move for the Clippers. And I actually think that what they've done in the last 48, 72 hours is a move that I think a lot of GMs and a lot of teams are afraid to make when you don't have the confidence of your owner and the stability, knowing that, hey, like, we're willing to think long term. Think of where the Thunder were the night they traded Paul George to the Clippers. Yeah. And it looked like, wow, we got Russ, and what are we going to do with him? We'll trade him to the Rockets. Like, this is a league where you have to look yourself into the mirror and accept down to the studs rebuilds at times. And I think for the Clippers, Garland's an interesting piece, but I think that they're thinking more long-term. I mean, do they make a run at the Joker a couple years from now? Yeah. Go to Jokic in the next free agency. Yeah. Do they feel like they're a player and they're a piece? Because what I do know is, say what you want about the Clippers. And yes, if we're having a conversation about the worst franchises in the history of professional sports, they're on that short list. But that was with Donald Sterling as the owner, not Steve Ballmer. If Steve Ballmer or an owner like that owned the Clippers for the entirety of their existence, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. I think they're an organization that knows that they have the foundation and infrastructure to ultimately land some superstars. They proved that with Kawhi Leonard, right? They proved that James Harden was willing to go there. They found a way to acquire Paul George. So I think that they're waving the white flag, and they realize that, like, what does getting past the first round get you for a team that has aging superstars, right? It's not like, oh yeah, we learn from that. Next year we'll go to the second round. Like, it doesn't do it for a team like the Spurs. It means a lot, right? Yep. For those young teams, it means something. It means nothing for them. I think what they're doing is smart. Zubac is a quality player. I'm just excited to see what they gave up. I remember seeing yesterday that they said if Zubac was going to move, it would be for something that was for more than you would see for Anthony Davis. Yeah. So we'll see what trade package he gets.
Yeah, and the Pacers, they're a lottery team. They're going to have a pretty high pick in the draft. So if that 2026 pick is in there, the Clippers are getting some of those assets back they lost in that massive Kawhi Leonard trade a few years back. Really good point in terms of just the Clippers trying to put together a young team. You saw it years ago when they had Shea, when they had that young core that took the Warriors to like 5 or 6 games, and then immediately they were an attractive destination for Kawhi Leonard. So they definitely are thinking big picture. They have that new arena, and I wonder what the future is going to look like for Kawhi there.
Exactly. I mean, that's the biggest question too, is what does this mean for Kawhi Leonard and his future? Is there still something looming with him in the league with aspiration and all the controversy there? But I mean, as Kawhi being the face of the franchise, Zubac was the longest tenured Clipper. Like, it for Clippers fans, like, he was kind of their baby. Like Clippers fans will tell you, like he is that guy that, like, you feel like it gave his heart and soul to that organization, and he made the most of what his career has been so far. And we'll see. I mean, Kawhi better. If I'm a Clipper fan right now, I'm saying Kawhi better be gone. Yeah, because we are in our rebuild era. He's doing nothing for that.
For Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin, Arizona. Arizona Wildcat goes in return. And look, he's an athletic player, lots of potential himself, but it's pretty interesting if I'm the Clippers to say this is the weirdest season of all time. Yep. Like, this is the weirdest season that I can remember an NBA team having, when you start 6-21 and then Chris Paul is exiled and you move on from who is probably unquestionably the most accomplished player in your franchise history. That ends ugly. Everyone blames you and they tell you you're the worst organization. How you do something like that? And then you go on this run where you're a respectable team and you go from 6-21 to now you're 23-27. You trade away James Harden, which I don't think, like I called him yesterday, he's the GOATer, the greatest of all time trade requester. And you move on from him. You weren't going to pay him, fine. Now you move on from Zubac, and then now you move on from Kawhi at some point, you have to believe. So it really is just a matter of the timeline for them. And it'll be interesting to see what Ty Lue has to say about this, and Steve Ballmer has to say about this, and Trent Redden, the Clippers GM, has to say about this, because what I think is in play here is just an acceptance that as much as they had hoped that this roster was going to be able to make a run, they see the Western Conference. They see Oklahoma City getting better, adding Jared McKain. They see the Minnesota Timberwolves, teams like that getting better. I mean, the Spurs taking a leap. The Lakers, this team in their city is even better than they are. So I think that's what it comes down to is the Clippers just understanding that. But if you're Zubac, that one's gotta hurt, man. You really did a lot to get this team back to respectability. And then now you're going to a team that has the worst record in the Eastern Conference. We got our buddy, by the way. We got Buddy Ricardo Sandoval from the LA Sports Report, Newsweek. Buddy,
what's going on, Dougie?
What is up, my man? You know, look, I don't think I've talked basketball or sports more with someone without a microphone in front of me than you. So this time we're actually doing the microphone. It's live. No one knows ball more than Buddy. Buddy, what is your reaction to Zubac being traded to the Clippers?
Yeah, pretty shocked.
I mean to the Pacers from the Clippers.
Yeah, to the Pacers from the Clippers. I think I'm more shocked on the return, really, Benedict Mathurin, as a Laker fan. I really wanted Benedict on the team, but it was weird. I mean, obviously, Zubac, not even a long-time Laker for a year and a half, gets traded, and you're like, why would Magic Johnson send him to the Clippers? And he ended up being like a main core piece for them. Had his best year last year, arguably an all-star. And then this year, obviously, Clippers get off to a weird start. And then trading James Harden, you kind of knew that his not market was going to plummet, but like his play was going to plummet in a way because he benefited so much from James Harden. And then just Clippers just thought then it's just time for a new change, for something new. And yeah, pretty crazy, man. Now he goes to Indiana, and I think he's going to thrive next to Tyrese Halliburton next year. So that's going to be really fun to see.
Yeah. And are there picks involved as well?
I was telling Doug,
If
the 2026 pick was in there,
that's kind of the question at this point, because I mean, if there's a plethora of first round picks, so 2 first round picks is a great deal for the Clippers. It really is. Wow. I mean, this is one of those. It's a cliche that I hate to use, but it is a win-win, because I look at Pacers, just thinking top of my head, what's that Pacers lineup look like for 2026 and 2027? Halliburton, Kennard, Nesmith, Siakam, and Zubac. Yeah, that's a fun team in the Eastern Conference.
And they got
Isaiah Jackson.
Legend.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like the Pacers could have afforded to give up Benedict Mathurin because of guys like Nembhard and Naismith, who were spectacular, who have been spectacular for them since they arrived early in Indiana. Obviously, they're two deep playoff runs. They played a huge. And the
Clippers didn't have picks. Like the Clippers needed picks. This is almost like the mini Sam Presti mode, where it's like Zubac is not like ultra elite, and Paul George was really good to second team All NBA, third team All NBA when he went to the Clippers, kind of in that realm. Kind of had one of his best years that last year with Melo and Russ, but still, it is a move where you say, hey, like that's in the era where it's tough to acquire stars via trade and free agency and stack them. Like it's almost like becoming like the NFL. Like if you want your star quarterback, you just have to literally make the right picks. You have to select the right guys.
Without a doubt.
And when you're the Pacers in an era where depth gets you over the top, they put themselves in a position where, as you point out, they had some surplus. Yeah. Like because of guys working out, they said, hey, we can move Mathurin, where a lot of teams in the past, like, we got to keep that guy. We got to rely on that guy. Yeah. But they were able to move him, upgrade that center spot. And yeah, I think it's a win-win. And I know you're a Clipper hater, and it's okay. This is the LA Sports Report. I'm wearing a Lakers polo. I've always thought it was kind of cool. Like, you know, the Clippers are almost like the Dodgers as a kid, where it's like you could go to a Dodger game in the summer camp, right? Like you go, it's like May against the Rockies. All the kids are wearing the same teal shirt for their daycare.
Quite a while,
right? You know what I'm saying? It has been like that a while, but the Clippers are like that too. It's like you can go to an NBA game. You know what I mean? Lakers game, it's like, hey, 3 birthdays that roll into one. You're up in the 300s, right? Against the Magic, right?
Okay, well, they don't have Isaiah Jackson anymore. He's also headed to LA.
So Isaiah Jackson included in the deal.
Wow.
And also, teams are calling the Clippers trying to trade for Kawhi Leonard.
So this is going to be. First of all, I feel bad for BDR. He's going to have to cook up a new intro. Kawhi and James Harden both on that intro. But that could be the game changer. Like there could be a move made for Kawhi Leonard that shifts the balance of the NBA in the next 30 minutes or so. Because say what you want about Kawhi Leonard, did he live up to his billing, and did the Clippers get what they were hoping to get from him? No, but this year he's averaging almost 28 a game on 6 rebounds and almost 50% shooting, almost 40% from beyond the arc. Like, can you imagine him in a really good situation? Are there any teams that come to mind for you guys for Kawhi Leonard? I mean,
Wow.
I initially
go to the Heat.
He would be nice. Before the trade yesterday that the Warriors, oh my god, before the trade that the Warriors made yesterday for Porzingis, I was kind of looking at the Warriors, but with Jimmy Butler hurt and with them moving Kuminga and Buddy Hield, I don't think they have the assets for it anymore. But yeah, I think an Eastern Conference team, you look at Milwaukee.
I don't know.
Not
Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee does want to build a contender, Giannis, but is Kawhi that player?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, then again, if you were to make that move, you have now 2 injury-prone superstars.
Yeah.
But if they're right,
You know, got to consider what the Clippers are looking for. But I think any team in the East that's looking to contend should be calling about Kawhi Leonard.
why not? Raptors.
Bring him back to the
Maybe.
Raptors.
Bring him back to the Raptors. I mean, that would be
If I'm
pretty
the
insane.
Lakers, here's Reeves for Kawhi. I don't care.
You're insane.
I would do it. Like,
Insane.
if wait, you wouldn't do that?
Reeves for Kawhi? I don't know, dude. You get younger. I mean, you get older. And
No, of course.
that
You
just
know,
doesn't fit
the thing about
timeline, but-
Austin Reeves is his cap hits like 20 million. So if you get him for 30 million, you got 50 million plus in cap space. Austin Reeves most likely going to be back with the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, I'm only joking, but would it be funny to see some of those pieces that, I mean, it always feels like sometimes like the Lakers get that guy, but like after they wanted him, like Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, right? Like Steve Nash, like it's like, okay, like we get the retirement tour version of that player, but
That's more so the Knicks route. But yeah, the Lakers do that every now and then.
yeah, I mean, anytime you're an organization that can attract like high level like buyout players, you're going to get those guys. But yeah, Sham just tweeted the Clippers receiving a 2026 first round pick, protected 1 through 4 and 10 through 30, plus a 2029 Pacers unprotected first round pick. Yeah, I was going to get my guy, the dime dropper, on. I was talking to him, the big Clippers locked on host, fan insider.
He's going to be busy
and
today.
like he's just telling me like this has got to be one of the most like emotional roller coaster seasons for Clippers fans. So we'll get back to the Clippers. Do you want to go back to Kennard? And I look at this Lakers team, and yes, there was the Showtime Lakers, Magic, Kareem, Michael Cooper, James Worthy. We got the Snowtime Lakers. You got Luka. You got Dalton Connect. You got Luke Kennard. You got Jake LaRavia. I mean, this is the Snowtime Lakers. And I think with Luke Kennard, kind of big picture, we'll see what it means this year. Like, bottom line is the Lakers are better today than they were yesterday. And here's something I was thinking about too when I was looking at this trade. They give up a second round pick, right? And what did the Lakers do last year to get Thero? They bought that second round pick. Yeah. And I hear everyone out there, oh, this is a salary cap league. The Lakers can't benefit like the Dodgers do for having unlimited funds. Well, guess what? One way that you can flex that financial muscle is you buy second round picks, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers just buy that second round pick and essentially all you had was Gabe Vincent just to match the salaries. Right. And he's a guy that, look, LeBron James has really, really liked, spoke very highly of. It's going to be nice to see a true marksman, a sharp shooter that is paired with Luka Doncic. And now it's another message of, hey, like, is this an audition because he's going to be an unrestricted free agent? Or is this going to be just, okay, like, let's just get better on the margins just so we have a puncher's chance this year, something like that. Because he is someone that's kind of on the older side. I mean, the thing too, like, that kind of surprised me just a little bit looking at his numbers is for a guy that shoots that well, you would expect maybe like at least 5 or 6 attempts. Yeah. Dude's averaging like 3 attempts per game on 20 minutes. Yeah. But when he was with the Clippers, when he was with the Grizzlies, he's the guy that could give you 6 3-point attempts per game. Do you guys expect that to get a little more run, some more opportunities?
Yeah, because like you got to focus on those two teams because when he was playing on that Grizzlies team that had a lot of success in the regular season, in the postseason. He was a pretty important part of those Clippers teams that were going on their runs. He's played alongside stars. He's played alongside guys that need the ball in their hands. He knows how to play his role. And I think against specific teams, you saw like the lineup that's been working. Luka, Marcus Smart, and Austin Reeves. When you need more scoring, when you're playing against teams that you're going to need to space the floor, he's going to bring that. So much attention is going to be on Luka and on Reeves and on LeBron when he gets the ball in the post that Luke Kennard is naturally going to adapt into this JJ Redick offense. He's a Duke guy too, right?
Yeah, he's a Duke guy.
So perfect. Him and JJ Redick speak the same language. And I just think he's going to provide that punch. And he's going to have some games where he's going to be shooting upward of 8, maybe even 9, 10 attempts on the right night when Luke is getting double team, when guys are out. So I'm excited to see the plays that JJ is going to draw up for him.
And that's the thing too. I mean, that if there's a strength that you see with JJ Redick is, look, he understands that part of the floor to get open shooters, to get guys in the corner. And the thing too is he doesn't need a lot of space. Like he can catch and shoot. And that's kind of the big difference is he's a guy that has that in his bag. Rui is a decent shooter, but has turned himself into a decent shooter. Right. And you look at, like I was saying for this team, it's kind of insane when you look at the fact that we are in the Big 2026, as Noel likes to call it, Q1 of the Big 2026, in a era where you watch a basketball game, you watch hoops, and it's like, dude, if you're not filling it up with multiple dudes that can stretch, that can build spacing and fill it up, like, you're screwed. And the fact is, Lakers have 3 guys that shoot over 40%. Rui at 44.9%, Luke at 41.9%, Reeves at 40.8%. Those are the ones you would guess. The next closest is LeBron at 34.1%. And this is on wide open threes this year, right? At wide open threes. Luke Kennard in wide open threes, 51.6%. So the next closest, Rui at 44.9%. That is the role that you want for him. You don't want him working for his threes, right? You want to just set him up. And when you see Luke Kennard, like dude's hair doesn't really sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make his threes feel like layups. And Luka Doncic and even LeBron James and Austin Reeves, they have the shot creation to give him more opportunity. So everyone always rushes to like, oh, what does that player look like right now as he's traded? Always look like, what does the situation look like that they're going into where his numbers can improve? Because most, like even if you get what he got now, he's still double what cardio Gabe was giving you. Right?
Exactly.
Without a doubt.
I'm not saying he's the missing piece, but where is the missing piece of Gabe Vincent's beard? I'm just asking.
No, in his chin.
In his chin. Is anyone? No, but I mean, a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, what do you grade this trade? I gave it an A+. Yeah. Just I hate Gabe Vincent as a person. This whole no, but no. No, look, he was so good. Man. No, he was so good with the Miami Heat, right? He was so good with the Miami Heat. He was so incredible in that Celtics series. Mm-hmm. You were just hoping that he would be that guy. Unfortunately, he just wasn't that guy. Let's just call it what it is.
No, he wasn't. And grade-wise, I would give it a B. It could be an A. And here's why. The Lakers gave up their last second-round pick to the Hawks. And it doesn't seem like they're going to do anything in the next 25 minutes. So if that's the case, and they don't end up keeping Luke Kennard, that could be a big failure because they give up the second-round pick, just like they did last year with Dorian Finney-Smith. Everyone thought that, hey, we got Dorian Finney-Smith. We didn't end up signing him. Luckily, the Lakers didn't sign him because he only played, 5 games this year because of the ankle injury. So this could be an A+ if they keep him and if they end up getting Giannis or a big-time player this summer. Because now, if they don't do anything in the next 25 minutes, that puts a lot of pressure on the front office. Like, hey, we need to get something done this summer because they need to be in title contention. They're going to have the money to spend this summer. They're going to have more assets. They're going to have their 3 first-round picks to give up, in the summer. So that puts a lot of pressure on the front office. It puts a lot of pressure on Rob Pelinka. So this could be an A if they end up doing something this summer, which they have to. If they don't, then, some serious conversations need to be had with Mark Walter, not with him, but in terms of Rob Pelinka, we need to get this dude out because this is just unacceptable.
No doubt about it. I mean, I think you're spot on with that. Tons of pressure on Rob Pelinka. I'm curious to see how much power he has within the organization. Is he just able to make trades at will? Something tells me the answer is probably no, or at least he has to check in, right? I mean, something like that. But let's talk about the offseason. Let's talk about Giannis because that is one of the biggest things you could be looking for if you're the Lakers. I said on yesterday's show that you want to see Giannis in a tweet from Shams, but you want it to be that the Bucks weren't trading him. That's the best you could have hoped for this year, right? And yes, earlier was flown out. Could you assign trade? Things like that with Austin Reeves. Way the season's going, and if you're the Bucks too, it's like you probably want to put yourself in that position. You want to have the most robust market that you can have for him to just build a bidding war. But the Giannis news is really interesting because now the Lakers re-enter the mix, 3 first-round picks. You can take on that salary. And the question, if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, though, is yes, draft capital is nice, but ultimately you have to hit on draft picks. Lakers drafted Lonzo Ball with their number 2 pick, and he's been on like 2 teams the last 2 days, right? And I think he was back at UCLA hoping he could pull Amari Bailey, get back in Westwood or something, right?
That's probably why he was at the game.
That's probably why.
I saw a tweet that I thought was real. It said Amari signed with BYU. I was like, they're going to be so
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, either that or I would become a Mormon and be a BYU fan. So I would change my religion for Amari Bailey for sure.
Curious to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I feel like the biggest losers from this whole Giannis news, of course, but the Bucks are going to wait to see a package, but I think the Timberwolves and the Warriors, because the Warriors package was declined. Obviously, the Timberwolves couldn't figure something out. It looks like now it's going to be a race between the Knicks and the Lakers, in my opinion, because so many top sources have said that he really wants to go to the Knicks, but the Lakers are looming. The possibility of him playing next to Luka Doncic, these new assets they're going to get in the summertime. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Couldn't agree more. I mean, that's the first thing that popped into my mind is the Warriors think they're the Lakers now.
Yeah.
They think that, okay, because of a decade plus 2 decades of success that we've forgotten that they were basically the Northern California Clippers for a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
And yes, you have the We Believe Warriors. They won a championship before that, but still they feel like they're a destination franchise, which they are. Like they are a destination franchise. They think they can push buttons to get the kind of guys that the Lakers get. Like the Giannis Antetokounmpos end up on the Lakers, right? And if you're the Warriors, as you point out, Noel, like they wanted him now, just like they wanted LeBron last year.
Exactly.
Like the Warriors have been trying to cook game-changing in-season trades. And yeah, Jimmy Butler was cool, but that's not of the magnitude that they've been after. So I totally agree with you. If the Warriors were going to get Giannis, it feels like it would have been during the season. And I think when he gets, I remember, I did a deep dive on Giannis. I think his wife is from Fresno or something, right? Yeah. Super random. Shout out to the Fresno State Bulldogs. But like, and there was some talk, oh, she wants to be in that area and this and that. And like, it's kind of one of those things where if that's where he ends up and it's during the season, it's almost like a Luka thing. It's like, yeah, maybe at the initial press conference, you feel some type of way. Then a couple of weeks in, you're like, okay, like this is home, right? Now, that's the number one thing for me is we had Sam Quinn on the show. He's New York. He's plugged in. He said that, look, word around town, he wants to be at MSG. Yeah. He wants international superstars on the major markets. Yeah. And Luka Doncic is in LA. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, if you want to play in New York, it's like, you want to play in New York, right? If you want to play in LA, it's like, you want to play in LA, right? It's like Duke, North Carolina. Like everyone kind of has their dream place they want to play. And if he wants to go to New York, then it comes down to this. How much does the Milwaukee Bucks, how much do they want to do right by Giannis and say, hey, this is a partnership. Like you brought us a championship. We want you to be happy. We're going to let you go to New York. But then at the same token, that's in the Eastern Conference. Yeah. I would much rather send him to the marquee franchise in the other conference and have like a Kareem to the Lakers 2.0, but have it be Giannis. So that's the biggest thing that I'm going to be looking for from guys like Shams and McMenamin. Like, what is Giannis saying in his inner circles about the Lakers specifically? Because I think if he's open to it, we'll kind of talk about what that looks like with him and Luka. But if he's like actively like, if he's get those like warm and fuzzy Lakers feelings, that go a long way. Yeah.
And I was talking to Rob about that before the show. Like the Bucks, they really do have to be careful how they tread this trade thing. And that's why I think a big reason why they didn't seriously consider the Timberwolves, because how they handle this departure with their generational superstar, it's going to determine these next couple of decades when they do have players looking at Milwaukee. Because if you send Giannis to a place he doesn't want to go to, if you don't work with Giannis to make him happy after he brought you a title, after he stuck through multiple years where you weren't winning, then that's going to not look good when other stars, when other just free agents in general look at Milwaukee as a potential playing spot.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think that for them, it's an optics thing. Like, do you guys think that the Rockets would give up some picks and Amen Thompson for Giannis?
For Giannis, I believe so.
Absolutely.
So then, like, if I'm Houston, I do that, and if I'm the Bucks, I would do that over a Lakers deal.
Yes,
because like we talked about, like at the end of the day, the Lakers. I mean, a lot of the fans like, we got picks, baby. Like that means we're getting our guy, right?
Yeah.
The truth is they don't have one blue chip tradable asset.
No, they don't.
Like they do not. Like Dalton Connect isn't him. Nope. Dalton disconnect, right? Rui Hachimura, respectably, they don't have that player. Like, say what you want about Lonzo, but they had Brand Ingram and they had guys that like really had upside. There's not those, like, if I'm Milwaukee, I feel like I got to get picks plus a blue chipper back, but that's when you kind of start to think of, okay, could it be a multi-team deal or something in that realm? But what it would look like on paper for the Lakers if they were to trade and acquire Giannis.
Yep.
Here's the I was on the freeway making notes. Hopefully I didn't I got honked at a couple times, but I was just kind of like, what is the team like? You got Luka, Giannis. You bring back Austin Reeves, Jake LaRavia, Vando, Don Connect, Adu, and then like if DeAndre Ayton, with the way that things are going, does he pick up his option?
Yeah,
I mean, he might. Marcus, he's probably going to opt out. Yep. We'll see what he does. You renounce all those rights. So that's your squad right there. You got Luka, Giannis, Austin, Jake, Vando, Dalton, Adu. And I look at that squad. Look, there's been some talk about Giannis. Is he a willing screen setter? There was some talk that he was uncomfortable in the pick and roll with Dame. But Lucas is on another stratosphere at the peak of his powers. The truth of the matter is if you get on, is this a second button? This is the no.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
There we go. Oh yes. Ah!
Yeah.
This has got to be.
It's got to be the Warriors.
It's got to be the Warriors. Draymond, when he doesn't get traded to the Lakers,
which Anthony Slater did report that he's going to remain.
He's going to be on the Warriors. So what do you think though? Like, are you on an all-in scale? If you're like, do you have any trepidation, any doubts about going for Giannis, or is that priority number one this offseason? And are you at a 10 with the Lakers pursuing Giannis?
You have a little bit of doubt, right? Just because of the injury history. These past 2 seasons alone, he's been injured more than he has his entire career. He's had 2 significant calf injuries this year alone. So there's definitely a factor there. Do you go all in on Giannis? I mean, if he says, I want to be a Laker, regardless of the picks they have, obviously the Lakers have the edge there, right? Without that, the Lakers maybe are the fourth best option in terms of like types of packages you could do, right? Like the Knicks hold that over them, and just other teams. But the Lakers should really be focused on getting maybe a guy like Peyton Watson.
Exactly.
Guys of that archetype, right? Because they need that. They lack that. They get exposed with that. You see teams like the Thunder, the Spurs, they've gotten manhandled because they have those types of players. And, it's just what they have right now is clearly not enough. But in terms of Giannis, it's definitely intriguing because this city is built on stars. It's always that duo, right? Giannis, the Luka and LeBron right now. Clearly that doesn't work, but LeBron, Anthony Davis, right? Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, Magic. This team is built on stars. So to pursue that true number 2 star, or even number 1 star, right? Like 1A, 1B. Is Reeves that? We don't know.
I think ultimately the decision comes down to this. Are the Lakers going to be in a 2010 state of mind, or are they going to be in a 2026 state of mind? Because in the 2010s, it was load up with superstars, fill in the cracks elsewhere, and then we're going to contend for a title. That has been the Lakers' formula for success. Whether you're talking Jerry West and Will Chamberlain, Kareem and Magic, Shaq and Kobe, Pau and Kobe, AD and LeBron. It's get a big, get a score, go win a title, right? But the thing here is I'm not so sure that it's always about getting the prohibitively old 30-plus-year-old superstar. That he's not a guy that you think is going to age like a Tim Duncan's going to age, like a Dirk, or a guy that can score from the perimeter, right? I mean, he's almost like basically like Russell Westbrook on like super steroids, right? Like as far as a guy that's incredibly athletic, one of the top 20 to 30 best players in the history of the game. But I feel like with Giannis, it's going to be like, look at Blake Griffin, for example, right? Like a way lesser version of Giannis. Like when it's kind of gone and like he goes like the Greek freak to like the Greek human, right? Like it's just going to be very different. And this is my big fear. My big fear about going all in on Giannis is if you trade for Giannis and you commit to 2 Supermax superstars with Austin Reeves, and then you're trying to get the role players elsewhere, you basically have 1 tax player, mid-level exceptions, things like that. But in an era where you need 3-and-Ds, 3-point shooters, he's not that, right? And if it doesn't work, by the time you have flexibility, Luka Doncic cannot be playing at MVP anymore. And if Luka Doncic doesn't win a championship for the Lakers, it's an absolute failure. And Nico Harrison is still a failure in himself, but at least you could say, hey, like maybe they failed him, but he's got to win a championship. So that you put a lot of pressure in that 2-3 year window if you're the Lakers versus, hey, like we can kind of do this more of an organic way. You mentioned a guy like Payne Watson, kind of overpaying him as an RFA, a guy that is younger, can kind of grow with him. So that is kind of the big fear with me is like you get Giannis, they win on opening night by 20, they tears his Achilles and the franchise is done. Yeah. Like I can't say I'm all in on the Greek Freak.
Sure. I mean, this summer, crucial for the Lakers, especially if they don't do anything now. Next summer, also too, but this summer, this is a year. They need to go into the 2026, 2027 season and say, we are going to compete, truly compete with the Thunder, with the Spurs, with Boston next year. Boston's good right now. Jason Tatum's going to be back, and they're going to make them even better, right? The Knicks, those type of, they need to be in that category. If they're not in that category by August, right? September, heading into the season, this team's in some deep trouble. Nelson, I don't know if you have any thoughts on the Giannis thing. What the Lakers?
Yeah, like we got Nelly here, one of the great ball knowers in Southern California for sure. He's got his spider hat on, right? Yeah.
No Mitchell.
So you wore Michigan dunks yesterday. Now today wears Ohio State dunks. You're trying to keep it even. You got the scarlet and gray dunks on today. Nelly, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you are the GM, if you're the president, if you're calling the shots for the purple and gold, on a scale of 1 to 10, how aggressive are you in your pursuit of Giannis?
I am probably one of the odd men out there, but I am a 4 out of 10. I think the injury record is super sketchy. Calf injuries, especially in the modern NBA, they're really concerning. Especially like with the courts and a lot of the modern complaints that have been made. It's just like a very big question. And so I have serious doubts about him being able to stay healthy. I think it's very possible that he ends up potentially tearing his Achilles like a lot of players have. And then on top of that, I am really high on the pairing of Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. And if Reeves being moved is a requirement for that deal to happen, then it has to become a deal that I think I would probably pass on. I'm willing to pay a lot of money for Reeves, probably go up to his max because I believe in him that much. I know like the Lakers are a city of stars historically, but I think Reeves is a star. Like if he stays healthy, he's an all-star this season. And that's just in what fully year one of the pairing with Luka, and with LeBron also being there, carrying a lot of the offensive load as well. I think if LeBron were to move on in the offseason, then that opens the door for more usage of Austin Reeves, and that allows Luka to also be used a little bit more, and they become the 2 primary creators, and then you build a roster around those 2. Pivoting to someone like Giannis would be definitely a drastic move, but I don't think it's required necessarily with Luka Doncic.
For sure. I think that's a great way to think about it, because, I mean, the numbers bear it out. I mean, when Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are on the court together, you got a plus 19.9 net rating, and that they've shown elite synergy when they're on the court together. And then when you throw LeBron in the mix, you know, it's like that meme, you know, where the dude's at the pot, you know, and it's like the pot is like boiling, and then you throw the one thing, it's like everything is like messed up. Like that's just kind of what that nucleus has looked like, for better or worse. That's not a slight to LeBron. It's just there are 3 guys that need the ball in their hands to make things work. And the way I think about this is like I said, we need to not be in a 2010 state of mind. And I see people out there, hey, Giannis, Luka, it's been one of the greatest pairings ever. You get those 2 together, you put them together, and you figure out everything later. The problem is, in the current state of the NBA, the figure it out later thing is a lot more complicated, and there's just more restrictions. I mean, you look at it on paper. After you make that move, no tradable draft picks, none, right? And you're out of 10, 20 million cap space in the MLE, right? So, like, what is the plan? The truth is, it's like sometimes 4 quarters is better than $1 type thing in the NBA these days. But my biggest fear is that Rob Pelinka is just punting for the rest of this. I mean, clearly, like Wiggins, like for Rui in the first for Wiggins, like, I mean, that I think that's kind of one of those things where it's like, maybe there's not a deal to be done right now. I think Kawhi Leonard probably most likely is dealt in the offseason. Sure. But the truth is, you've had 2 prime years of Luka, right? And they've basically treated every year after the championship in the bubble as if they're not a legit championship team. Like, all in teams don't have first round picks, and they have guys on longer contracts for bigger money. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers try to get by on these 1 or 2 year deals to try to give them the financial flexibility. But if I'm LeBron, I'd be pissed too. Like you didn't really go all in after the championship. For better or worse, the Westbrook trade, they blew up a championship roster. And now you have an MVP Luka that you're really not doing enough to put around him an opportunity to actually compete for a title this year. I mean, how do you guys think Luka Doncic feels today? Probably happy about Luke Kennard, right? He probably drove Gabe Vincent to the airport in his Bugatti and just like threw him out there, cardio Gabe. But I mean, how do you think Luka Doncic feels?
Yeah, I mean, well, he felt great in the summer, right? He signed obviously the extension. He clearly believes in this team. Right now, if you don't do anything, it's kind of like, okay, like what are we really doing here? I mean, I would be kind of frustrated if I was Luka, right? I mean, yeah, I'm 26 years old. I haven't even entered my prime yet, right? So there's that. But at the same time, it's like this was a guy who was just in the finals 2 years ago, right? With a team, with a type of roster that the Lakers don't have right now. They had guys like Derek Jones, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Kyrie Irving, right? Guys who complemented Luka Doncic well. The Lakers don't have that right now. And it doesn't seem like they're going to get that. So if I was Luka, I would be very, very frustrated with how things are right now, which I keep on reiterating why this summer is crucial for the Lakers, whether they get it done or not. Rob Pelinka keeps on pushing back. You can't buy a house that's not for sale, right? Things like that, right? I mean, like eventually he's going to need to put up or shut up, right?
You can't buy a house that's not for sale, but they also say you shouldn't buy a house unless you're willing to want to live in it for 10 years, right? Because the closing costs and we would have to give a capital gain, things like that. So I think that's kind of where Rob Pelinka is right now. It's like, are any of these houses at the deadline ones that I want to live in for the next 3 to 5 years and put in the same neighborhood as Luka Doncic, right? And I think that's kind of the complicated thing we hear from. I mean, a couple reports have come out in the last couple minutes. I believe it was Broderick Turner who put out that the Lakers are not expected to make any more moves today. The NBA deadline for deals is noon, and instead look to make a big splash this summer when they have a lot more resources available. So yeah, that goes along with what you were saying, what we've been seeing, kind of what's logical based on who's available. Sure. But it'll be interesting to see what LeBron James has to say about all this. And LeBron got what he wanted. He came to LA, got a championship. Legacy is cemented. But I guarantee you, LeBron, he probably, hey, Harden, anyone else on that private jet to Cleveland? Like, I would love to be in the land right now instead of La La Land. Sure. What do you think about how biggest LeBron fan ever?
Historically, I've been really, really high on LeBron. But I think
history tells you, look up the history books, guys. It'll tell you that Nelly loves LeBron. I love it. And
we all know that Doug is pretty much a LeBron hater.
I'm not a LeBron. Don't make me look like Skip Bayless.
No, but in all honesty, I think going back to what you guys were talking about earlier, like I think Pelinka's been pretty smart about not using too many picks on a core like Davis and LeBron. I thought there was just too many injury concerns, and I don't blame him for kind of doing this half measure. And now that all these moves have happened, like I don't blame him for not trading for Andrew Wiggins and giving up a first round pick, because you need these kind of draft assets to build a roster down the line. And yeah, Luka may be frustrated right now, and that's probably fair and justified. But at the end of the day, like the reality of roster building is that you have to be really patient and calculated, and you can't just go all in and be like, okay, I'm gonna trade for Andrew Wiggins now, because eventually the Bucks stop somewhere. If you just look at the Milwaukee Bucks in the situation that they're in with Giannis, they are out of assets. They have no path forward to contend, and now Giannis is asking now. That's the real threat, right? If you have a star that's maybe a little bit upset, is a bit more demanding, then those are frustrations that you kind of deal with. But eventually, when you run out of assets and pass forward, that's when the stars really want to leave. So for now, yeah, LeBron may be a little bit upset about the lack of moves. Yes, he's in the latter half of his career. But at the end of the day, if you want to build a successful roster, you have to be patient and you cannot be reactionary. And so honestly, like when it comes to the Andrew Wiggins trade, I was never high on the possibility of that happening in the first place, or the fact that it should happen, because you need these first round picks. If you look at the Mavericks, they made a lot of aggressive moves when they could, when they stockpiled the assets. It's frustrating as a fan, and I'm sure as a player, but honestly, it's the best for the health of the organization. We have limited assets as a whole. We only have one tradable first round pick. It's best to probably just save that, cash that in. And whether it's Giannis, it can be another wing that fits in the summer. There's plenty of other players that can be targeted that can upgrade the roster in a meaningful way down the line. And this season, I just think like when it comes to the injuries already to Reeves, I think the core should probably run its course this season. And then you pivot post LeBron, because by all indications, he's probably
And here's the thing too. I mean, look what the Clippers did, right? Like we talked about, starting 6-21, then getting to 23 wins, right? Kind of climbing in the West.
Yeah.
They traded away Zubac and Harden. LeBron's better be happy that they didn't trade away Reeves and Ayton, right? I mean, like you got something to work with. And those three have only played 9 of 49 games together this season. So, I mean, there's still time to see what that group even is. But here's the thing, kind of going back to the Giannis thing. I think like this looks like the easy button, right? Our trade button. Shout out to Travis for cooking this up. This is amazing.
Shout out, Travis.
I'm gonna put this next to my bedstand home. Just 1 minute till
One more minute.
Before we get in, Lakers probably not going to do anything, but
Not gonna do anything.
here's the thing. If you are the Lakers and you think there's the easy button to get Giannis, I still don't see a world where Austin Reeves takes a team-friendly deal. He's already said he's not, right? It's about the money. He's got to get paid, right?
Sure.
And
he's earned that right.
He's earned that right. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, undrafted to making his way up the totem and really establishing himself. Look, he does get injured this year. He's an all-star, right? But he's not going to take a team-friendly deal. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I need to get some player of notoriety back along with the picks. So you have to essentially get Austin Reeves to agree to a sign and trade in that situation. And why the hell on earth would anyone accept a sign and trade to Milwaukee? Yes, you can possibly get a really good deal out of it potentially. But I mean, if you're Austin Reeves, you're free agent. You're a free agent. And you look at some of the teams available. I mean, I guess it's always within the realm. But why? My point is, it doesn't matter if it's Milwaukee or it's Miami. Why would Austin Reeves want to do anything to help the Lakers in that situation?
Yeah, exactly. Not only are you a free agent, you're arguably going to be the best free agent this summer, right? So, I mean, in terms of that, yeah, why would you help yourself out? It's clear that Austin Reeves is going to do what's best for Austin Reeves this summer. And yes, he does want to stay a Laker, but if push comes to shove, then, I mean, he's going to do what's best for himself. And he's going to be like, all right, Lakers, forget you guys. No, I don't want to go to Milwaukee. I want to go here instead. I want to do this instead. I'm not going to do anything to help you guys out, especially if that means you guys getting Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? Still a bit of a pipe dream. I would say it's more realistic for the Lakers to get Giannis if he says, hey, yo, John Horst, I want to be a Los Angeles Laker. If that is not the case, the Lakers have very little chance to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo. But, I mean, hey, look, if the way things stand, looks like right now Austin and the Lakers have a great relationship. That's going to remain the case unless something drastic happens, right? And I don't see any way that Reeves is not a Laker, barring Giannis saying, hey, I want to be a Laker. So,
yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it too. I mean, you're right. At the end of the day, it's a unique situation where a player has some leverage just because of he's a good dude and they really love him there, and he delivered on that ultimate promise to get a championship. So we'll see. I think that I don't know. Maybe we'll to keep going with the Lakers jersey swaps. So Lakers fans, when you're going to, I went to a Heat game and Giannis was on the bench, and I was sitting close to them. Like the Heat fans were like really trying to recruit him to Miami, and he was smiling. You know what I'm saying? So Lakers fans, do what you got to do your thing. But it looks like there's going to be no moves made, and I think that my initial takeaway of this is after the Luka Kennard deal, you upgraded your roster without harming the flexibility of the future at an extremely small cost. You gave a bag of Cheetos. You gave up Gabe Vincent, who was, I mean, like I said, it was the ultimate error in judgment for them, right? The end of an error. And I think for the Lakers in this standpoint, like you're sending a message to your franchise, like, hey, we're going to be patient. We're going to take this into the summer and try to put all your eggs in the 2026 summer basket. Hopefully that builds the future of a roster that can contend for the next 4 or 5 seasons versus, hey, like we're going to do something to make LeBron James happy, right? Like LeBron always wants to have his cake and eat it too. And I think part of the mission for Rich Paul and being on the podcast was like, okay, let's try to kind of like poke the Lakers. Like we want to try to win and try to make a win now move. But Lakers are saying, hey, dude, like you're Andy from Toy Story, right? Lucas Buzz Lightyear, bro. Yes. Like get into the toy box and you'll be like, we don't send you over to Sid. Okay. Like, cause
that up there with the little penguin.
Exactly.
On the shelf.
You like little Bo Peep, bro. That's crazy. But what is your honest assessment? What is your honest assessment, Nelly, of the Lakers not do? Travis, do we get anything on the finality pencils down for Lakers? Rocking his
down.
Bucks
Love that one. Pencils down.
Rocking his Bucks hat. I like the Bucks logo.
That one's nice.
Inactive day, but if you look at the whole week leading up to it, it's one of the biggest weekday period of.
Sure.
This was a great trade deadline.
It was great.
This was juicy. This had twists and turns. This had surprise moves.
That was great.
Representing about 13% of the entire NBA was traded this week.
That's an incredible stat. That's a
what
lot
NBA
of
thrives,
player
man.
mobility, and and in this day and age where you would think because of the restrictions with the aprons and things like that, you might see less player mobility. We actually saw more in an uptick in player mobility, and some of the big names. No Ja Morant. That's a takeaway.
no Ja.
So what did they say about Ja?
I just think that they wanted teams were willing to give a first round pick. So John himself wanted to see it through with Memphis, which I'm surprised they traded Triple J, but it looks like it's gonna have to be a offseason for him if he's gonna get moved.
Yeah, I think Brian Windhorst on ESPN, he was saying that pretty much no one really wanted Ja. Like he was gettable. No one was willing to offer the first round pick, and that kind of shows like it's a pretty dramatic fall off from like, this highly heralded blockbuster like piece that the Grizzlies were building around, and now pretty much no one around the league really wants to take them on in a serious fashion, because first round picks are a pretty big price to pay, and for someone who could get suspended again, could get into all kinds of trouble, and then on the court, like the effort level, the consistency. It's just so many variables in that like I totally understand why teams would stay away. Like if I was the Lakers as well, like Lakers are already good at guard, but regardless, I'm not touching the Ja Morant experiment. For a team like Miami though, who's kind of capped out their ceiling a bit here, like I get why them plus the Heat culture was such a tantalizing fit, but I guess we're gonna have to wait until the summer to see if that combination works itself out.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like, there's a lot of baggage there. And Brian Windhorst was talking about today, teams don't want him. And look, it's been a weird decline too. It's been a strange decline, and he's basically gonna have to kind of retool again in the he has to raise the stock, man, if he wants to get to a place where he wants to get to. I was hoping that he would end up in Minnesota too. I think that him and Anthony Edwards, like at least you're interesting, and that's as important as it gets. Yeah. But I'm curious to see what they said about Andrew Wiggins and him staying pat, and were the Lakers even in the red zone for anyone else, or probably the feeling I get is like after Kennard, like they probably like just left the war room. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like there was anything out there that they were looking to pursue.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically looking, like other than Wiggins, there's nothing else really that was really out there. I thought honestly, swinging the Kennard deal was a good bit of business. Like you add a floor spacer for LeBron. That's always a good combination. And then Luka as well. He's typically done really well with shooting around him. Austin Reeves has become a much better playmaker and just much more confident as a whole. So it gives him just another option on the court. Obviously, defensively, it doesn't help. And Lakers were already pretty weak defensively. And so that's like still a major question. But I think overall, like the team got better. And at this point, like a second round pick is not a big price to pay, considering the fact that the Lakers have been able to historically buy a second round pick as well. So I don't know. I think it was overall a pretty good deadline by Rob, especially considering I thought Zubac would be an interesting deal for Lakers potentially to explore if he was going to go down for maybe a price that was a notably less than what the Pacers ended up paying for.
Fortunately, the Clippers will never do that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. That's another big obstacle, right? It's like who's willing to trade with the Lakers? The Mavs are crossed out. Sure. Utah with Danny Ainge, they're crossed out. And the Clippers pretty much, I mean, they're crosstown rival. They're not going to trade with the Lakers. Celtics aren't going to trade with the Lakers. So it's like there's only so many avenues to explore. Pat Riley's always going to have a little something extra for the Lakers. So it's like there's so many like limited avenues for the Lakers to explore, especially in this trade deadline. So I thought overall the Lakers come out as a pretty solid winner. Like roster gets better, the playoff odds increase in my opinion, and that's really all that you could really realistically ask for.
Sure.
And you get to keep your first round pick, which to me is like probably the big headline thing. Lakers keep their first round pick, keep future flexibility, and kick the can down the road so that way they can make a bigger move down the summer.
Yeah, sure. And to add on that, I mean, Luke Kennard is not like a sexy name or anything like that. I know Laker fans out there wanted a big trade, but what move was realistic out there that was going to get the Lakers over the hump? Right? I mean,
so that's the thing too. Like you only go all in when you feel like you're one move away.
Yeah.
Right. And when Rob Pelinka goes into the deadline, he has self-imposed restrictions, right? And anytime you have self-imposed restrictions, whether it be we're not going to take on salary, we're not going to give up a lot of future assets, there's no way you're going to improve that significantly outside of just on the margins, in which they did. So, yeah, from that standpoint, I don't think that there was a lot of opportunities there, unless maybe like here's the thing, like, Let's say Austin Reeves doesn't get injured this year, right? Let's say LeBron James started the season with the team and they're like the second seed in the West, right? Then maybe I think it forces his hand a little more to be more aggressive. But kind of what happened was there was this mini slide where for like a 20, 30 game stretch, it was like, okay, Luka's an MVP. It's fun to watch him drop 40. This team can't beat good teams. So really, like LeBron, if you want a better move, he just didn't play at the beginning of the season. He missed significant time. Austin Reeves gets injured. So a lot of times you have to force your front office's hand into going out there and making moves, which they just didn't, even though they're a team that has a lot of potential. Now, I think Rob Pelinka has taken a lot of criticism for obvious reasons, but I think that recently he's made some pretty darn good moves. I mean, letting DFS walk instead of matching, leading to DeAndre Ayton and Jake LaRavia, that's a good move. Signing Ayton and LaRavia with those savings, good move. Getting Marcus Smart on the cheap, a 2-year deal, just as a nice reclamation project, he's been good. Bringing back Hayes on the cheap, he's been good. I think that the expiring Gabe contract to upgrade the roster, even though that was your move, like you signed Gabe, MLE, like you definitely deserve some heat for that. Then you trade AD for Luka because of the relationship you have with Nico. And then the best move of all, not extending LeBron at age 41. So, I mean, like Rob Pelinka, and I've called him Playoff Pelinka a couple times, but the truth is, like, as much as we want to give him heat, like he's been playing the slow game a little better than I think he's giving credit for. I think I look at this year with the Lakers as year 0 with Luka, not year 1 with Luka. Like, it's year 0. Like, are you a good fit with JJ Redick? Are you comfortable with JJ? Are you a good fit with Austin Reeves? Are you comfortable with Austin Reeves? Like, personally, I don't care if it doesn't look great with him and LeBron because it's not a part of the future, right? So that's the number one thing. I've said it before on this show. If you had told me the Lakers would go 0-82 for 2 straight seasons versus maybe have a slight puncher's chance and win a playoff series with AD and LeBron, give me 0-82 and they lose every game by 50 if it means I have Luka Doncic at age 26 heading into his prime. So the Lakers may be viewed as, I think, just not winners or losers, but right in the middle today. But in the grand scheme of things and the overall NBA picture where you need a superstar to win a championship for the most part, I still think that the potential's there to build a contender around Luka, and that's still in play today. Like, can you imagine if they traded for Wiggins and they got bounced in the first round? and they busted a first round pick for that. Like, the best thing about today, let's be honest, is that the Warriors didn't get Giannis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, screw the Warriors fans that thought like they were pretending like they're the Lakers Northern Cal, like the NorCal Lakers. Like you ain't that dog. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So, but what are your else? Some of your takeaways, Noel? Anything else stick out? Is there has anyone done any reporting on Lonzo Ball and Chris Paul? Because I don't know if that's just Lakers fans trying to manifest that, or LeVar Ball's burner accounts trying to manifest that. But
so it looks like trade deadline is just about done. The Nets did waive Cam Thomas, so he's going to be able to find a new team. There's been tension there about his contract extension and just his overall role with that team. I mean, just a pure bucket. So I'd be curious to see if he goes to a contender or if he goes to another bottom feeder team just for him to get stats. As far as Lonzo and Chris Paul, I haven't seen any solid reports linking them to teams. A lot of people are just saying maybe Lonzo to Charlotte to team up with LaMelo there, get on the bench squad, or go to the Clippers to kind of fill their point guard openings right now. But I don't really know where else Chris Paul could go, honestly. Some people are saying the Lakers. Where do you think, Doug? You think that would be a possibility?
To Amazon Prime, like on the studio, like sitting next to Steve Nash and Dirk, like that's what I want to see. Like, dude, like CP3, like get out of the league. You know, I said it yesterday when I was pretty much the only one defending James Harden. Is say what you want about James Harden, but like he's really outplayed most of his contemporaries, right? I mean, like Blake Griffin is on that Amazon set. You've got Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook. I mean, that group. He's never a guy that was gonna be in the Steph and LeBron and KD tier anyway. But he's still a guy that's a viable scoring threat from that standpoint. So I just think that it'd be a tough way to see Chris Paul go out, but it's kind of one of those things like everyone probably like maybe thinks they want him on their bench, but he's a guy that just sucks the oxygen out of a locker room.
That Clippers exit really just made it worse. I think he already had that reputation around the league of being not the easiest to be around because of what he expects out of his peers. But when your home kicks you out, tells you like we don't want you around in the locker room anymore, we don't want you around our veterans, our young guys, that really does say a lot. And it's a pretty bad stain. And considering the success they had right after he left.
Exactly. And we look at some comments here. Bring back Nelly. Nelly's getting love for his glasses, bro. We need Travis and Nelly to have a glasses off. You know what I mean? Like who can outglass each other? We got Gary A. All day, every day, D-Mac gets it, man. Finally, an adult covering the Lakers. Hey, we keep it 100 about the purple and gold. Nice glasses, Nelly, and a glasses emoji.
He was rocking the
Jeez, man. Send me $50 and I'll send you those glasses in an envelope. And I'll make sure it doesn't clean them off. I'll just put them in the envelope. Send me $50. I'll get my QR card. We got the Rams Don for the Warriorettes. Come on now. The Warriorettes. Come on. I say come on, but I read it twice. Are about 10 chips from being behind the Lakers on their level. Just saying. I love to hate the Warriors. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, for some reason. Like, they got Kevon Looney, who really was the face of their franchise for a decade. Right? And Bob Myers, who really deserves more credit than Steph. For their, of course, I'm just messing around for my Bruins there, but D-Mac with the Toy Story analogy. Gary A., they should absolutely tank the season for picks. I'd relegate LeBum to the bench.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah. They got Daniel. This is for the new owner, Mark Walter of the Lakers. Please, for all the fans that love the Lakers, maybe you can get this player for us, a trade, Austin Reeves for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, we got Mr. Classic. As far as I know, Farhan Zaidi is right below Miss Mark Walter in the Lakers depth chart. We've got guys, Giannis goes to Cleveland super team with LeBum. Come on, man. This Lonzo or CP3 possibly join the Lakers. Is anyone actually saying that?
I don't think either of them will. Lonzo, as much as I love him, he had a horrible stint with the Cavs. Just not look like he looked with the Bulls, even when he came back from injury. And Chris Paul, what good does that do for the Lakers this year? Like, this is going to be his last year with the Lakers, or last year in the NBA. Finish out with the Lakers, it makes no sense. That would just be like a nasty taste because we were supposed to get him in his prime.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely would. I mean, he's a journeyman at this point for sure. Now, this isn't the Lakers Sports Report. It's the LA Sports Report. We should talk a little more about the trade of the day, really, was the one the Clippers made. Yep. I mean, the Clippers sent the most high-profile player, and it was Zubac. Kind of grade that trade. The Clippers get Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks, and 1 second-round pick. And kind of the first question is people wondering, like, have they bailed on this season? And the answer is yes. I mean, you go 6-21, but then you go 17-6 your next 23 games. You're up to 9th in the Western Conference. You're catching up to teams in the play-in. You're kind of right around where the Warriors are at. The question is I think that there's two things in fold here. Is they're thinking about the future, and I think that there could be a punishment in line for alleged cap circumvention with Kawhi Leonard and the team sponsorship. That's probably what it is. But do you think Benedict Mathurin kind of moves the needle for you as far as the return on that deal?
Yeah, absolutely. A really good young wing. You're pairing him with Darius Garland. The Clippers, I think they parted ways with Kobe Brown. He was their other young guard wing that could play multiple positions. So ultimately, you're taking a flyer on Benedict Mathurin, who's proven himself a little bit more, had a good playoff run last year with Indiana, and just preparing for when you're not going to have Kawhi Leonard in a couple of years, whether he moves on sooner rather than later with this aspiration stuff going on or just when he retires. But you're building that young core to get ready for the next phase of Clippers basketball. And Zubac's really, really good player. But I think when you look at him compared to other bigs in the league and how many more years of his actual prime he has left, he's not someone that you necessarily have to just hold on to for dear life. He's given you some good seasons, and he's developed very, very well ever since they got him from the Lakers. But I like Benedict Mathurin as a player. And like Buddy was saying earlier, I think him on the Lakers would have been a really good fit. I think multiple contenders would have liked to have him. So, yeah, I like him a lot.
And I think that the number one thing you have to look for from the Clippers, which really makes it really interesting when you look at the deal, is it's Indiana's 2026 first-round pick. The Pacers are 13-38, so you're saying, wow, they're last in the Eastern Conference.
Exactly.
That should be a good pick, but it has protections, and if the pick lands in the 5 through 9 range in the draft, if it's 1 through 4 and 10 through 30 protected, it won't go. So the Clippers will receive the 2031 first-round pick from Indiana without any protection. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting from that standpoint as far as how Zubac performs for the Pacers the rest of the way and how that impacts that pick.
Exactly. And considering that they lost Miles Turner to the Bucks, and I mean, this season is just a gap year for when Tyrese Halliburton comes back. So you're getting him someone that's going to fit his mold, that could defend, that could play the post, and just giving Tyrese someone to get in the pick and roll with and to replace those minutes that Miles Turner was logging for them.
And the Clippers, they lose their first round pick to OKC this year. Yep. It's currently a lottery pick, and it doesn't matter where it lands. Yep. So the Clippers either get a top 10 pick, which is very valuable, between 5 through 9 this year, or you get some good future draft capital that's way down the line. You can also trade as well if they want to make a win now move, if they feel like their nucleus is good enough to contend earlier than that. So the Clippers not having control of their own picks until 2030, I mean, that's pretty big. It's pretty significant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like they were just in such a weird spot, giving up so many picks in that big Paul George and Kawhi Leonard summer. So to see them kind of backtracking a little bit and being willing to sell high on James Harden, that's still playing really good basketball, moving on from Zubac after he's been one of the best leagues in the NBA, it feels like there's a good culture shift. I wish I could have been in that meeting with Steve Ballmer and the front office, just deciding like, hey, we're playing great basketball. We're making a run for the playoffs, but we all know where this is going to end. And James Harden and Kawhi, they're not going to lead us to a title. The whole bringing the 4 LA dudes together last year didn't do it.
Nope.
And this team that's filled with veterans isn't going to do it either.
And I think it's pretty tough. It's almost like you always want to give a couple years to truly assess how well a draft plays out, right? I think it's the same thing with this trade, because you really can't put a grade on it that's accurate, just because if the pick doesn't land in that 5 through 9 range, then it's not as great a value in the immediate future for them. And also, too, are they going to try to bring back Benedict Mathurin? He's a restricted free agent. It's a good wing, good scorer, can play some defense. My thought is the Clippers probably feel like there's a pretty decent chance that they can get him back on a team-friendly-ish deal, and he's not going to eat too much in their cap in the future.
Exactly. Like you said, the Clippers, they're trying to hold on to money. They want to be one of the best destinations when it comes to free agency. They want to show we have a young core, we have this new stadium. they're going to sell to free agents that they can be the face of the franchise once Kawhi Leonard is gone, and they're going to be able to have multiple max slots open. So it's pretty interesting to see what they're doing here, and I like that they're getting ahead of it early. I was kind of excited to see how they would fare if they kept on this run they were going on, but like you said, big picture really matters, especially in this current stage of the NBA.
And I'm Mr. Social Media Superstar. How's the Lakers? How's the fans? Like, I'm looking a little bit on Twitter.
Yeah.
Some are whelmed, some are underwhelmed, some are doing the whole like we're patient thing.
Yeah.
In general, though, it's tough for a Lakers franchise to think that they should win a championship every single season. But what do you think is the general reaction from the fans kind of saying that, okay, we got rid of Gabe, we got Luke Kennard, but didn't make that big splash or trade one of those first round picks?
I think there's two things that the fans are most excited about right now online. Gabe Vincent off the team. 2, your probability for Giannis just got a whole lot better with the Warriors out the mix and probably the Timberwolves out of the mix. So I think overall everybody is pretty happy. Once it was reported that Herb Jones wasn't going to be a realistic target and that Andrew Wiggins was going to require more assets than previously expected, a lot of fans thought it's either going to be a very small marginal move or you're going to hold on to everything for Giannis in the summertime. So I think nothing really was a shock out of this. Rob Pelinka has stood pat the past couple trade deadlines, picked up a couple wings here and there. But like we've been talking about all show long, summer is going to be when he's really going to get tested. And if they don't land Giannis or make a big move there, that's when the Hurricanes are going to come of Laker fans really being upset.
Oh, yeah. That's when the pitchforks are going to be out. Now, lastly, we'll switch to the buyout market and who the Lakers could possibly get. Shams Charania did just report that the Nets are waiving Cam Thomas, and he's going to enter free agency. Of course, Lakers fans, they want like every bum from every other team that gets cut. But any initial thoughts on Cam Thomas?
So, yeah, I like Cam Thomas. I think him playing in Brooklyn for so long on team. His first couple of years, he was watching Kyrie and KD go ISO every other position. And he's been a scorer his whole life since high school, since college. So I don't blame that mentality on his end. But I like Cam Thomas. I think in the right situation, maybe with the Lakers, maybe with another contender, he could be really valuable off the bench. There's also Haywood Highsmith.
Yeah, I like Highsmith. I'd rather take Highsmith.
We were talking about it weeks ago, talking about trade targets. There were multiple guys I liked off the Nets, and Haywood Highsmith, he's a good wing. He's around 28 years old, shooting around 37% from three. He has missed a lot of time this year with an ankle injury, so the sample size isn't too high. But I think if you could get him on a good contract, Lakers clear up a roster spot and give him a shot for the second half of the season, he gives you some versatility at that wing position. So between those two, I really like Highsmith.
And then also you got the Jazz. They plan to waive Chris Boucher, it looks like, too.
Yeah, I mean, him too, man. He was one of those versatile Raptors guys that didn't work out, and he's been bouncing around. So buyout market could be a spot. We've seen the Lakers active there in years past. And if you want to get a different look at some lineups and give JJ more pieces to work with, those are a couple guys. But I think Highsmith is the one I'd most want them to target. Yeah, Highsmith definitely could improve this roster. Look, we'll end the show here with this. If there's any Lakers fan, I mean, this is the Keep 100 Lakers show for sure. And yes, the trade deadline is always exciting. I think that they made the right decision today. They're not tanking this season for sure, but they salvaged their asset situation the best way they possibly could. I mean, every team has some chance if you're in the playoffs, and that's what you want to do is just get to the dance. But every advanced analytics says that they're a middling team at best. You got substandard defense across the board. You're not a great shooting team. You don't have a lot of athletes that can run and D in transition. You don't have a lot going for it. So I am so on board with what they've done this trade deadline, because I think that it could put themselves in a better position this time next year to win a championship. And if you always are going all in to win a championship, you're rarely going to win a championship. You got to pick your spots. You got to know how your roster build is going. And yeah, if I'm LeBron James, lastly, I'm just going to announce my retirement, because I think this is the perfect time to do it if he really is going to do it, because then that could be the story for the remainder of the season is give LeBron his flowers, do it at the All-Star game, let him pass the torch to Luka if you want to see it as that. So it'll be interesting to see what his reaction to all this is, because I just can't imagine, like, he's a 21-6-6 guy, right? That means next year he's probably going to be like maybe a 21-6-6 guy, but maybe an 18-6-6 guy, right? Like, does he really want to go outside? He does not.
Like the further removed we get from him being LeBron James and the king of the NBA. Like the I don't want to say his mystique will take a hit because I think his legacy is intact, but I do think it would be a really worthwhile thing for him to consider if he's actually going to hang him up.
I'm telling you, Doug, once I saw the Harden trade go through, I already was thinking that the Cavs is most likely the route he's going to take for next season and call it quits. But it just makes a lot more sense. He goes out with another 2010s star that has been able to hold his own. He goes back home. There's a wide open small forward starting spot for him now with DeAndre Hunter being traded away. They got bench pieces back. It just feels like it's all coming. All the stars are aligning for him to go back to Cleveland. And there was also reports that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are going to be recruiting him. So
wait, where's that?
It was reported by ESPN that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are both planning to recruit him this offseason.
Wow. Buyout LeBron. No, I mean, yeah, no, we'll
buyout LeBron.
No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But yeah, no, that's really interesting right there. I mean, if you look at the winners and losers, and we'll do that on tomorrow's show as well. But the Lakers, they make a move. They get Luke Kennard. They mostly stand pat as they look ahead to the 2026 summer, loaded with picks. Could get Giannis. I see some comments down below. We'll answer that. I know
Nando put me in a trade package for Schoolboy.
Did he really?
I'm on the move.
Okay. Oh my, rushing. Okay. It's so fun. I think people are getting really used to the 10 a.m. start or the earlier start of the show because you see towards the end of the show, that's when they start with the Dodgers comments. So it's like they're ready for Dodgers Dugout Live. So we'll join you for that in a little bit, guys. Special thanks to Nelly Travis. Producing the show is awesome. Hey, we'll keep this for this summer for when they get Giannis.
Take the blue pill, Doug.
And then, this is Laker fans who wanted Giannis. But, all right, guys. We'll catch you guys on Dodgers Dugout Live. Special thanks to BDR, Big Dog Rob, producing the show as well. Noise by Noel. And if you're new to the show, if you're new to the channel, the LA Sports Report, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment, tell your friends, tell your family that, hey, all LA sports are going to be covered here. And we're telling the truth, keeping it 100, telling you the things you need to know about your favorite LA sports teams. And remember that LA is the city of champions.